So business credit cards are one of the most highly underrated benefits out in this world. Whether you're a points and miles credit card enthusiast or you're someone who's just trying to take advantage of all the great things in life, this video is going to be one of the most valuable things that you can watch for this year. So just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Brian. If you guys type in business credit cards on YouTube, you'll see some of my older videos. I've been highly ranked on search for the past few years with regards to the topic of business credit. On top of that, I am the founder of one of the biggest Facebook groups with well over 26,000 members involving personal finance and credit. If you guys aren't part of a community and you want to join one, you can join us there. It's completely free and it's just fun, helpful, and it's a way for you to learn more at the same time. So just to throw a little bit more icing on the cake so you guys have a clear definition of who your professor for this video is going to be, at the age of 21, I myself was approved for over 6 different business credit cards. So when it comes to the topic of business credit cards, I do have a few years under my belt. I have quite a bit of experience in helping other people, and I'm sure that we've helped a ton of people over the past few years with all the content that I put out. So as we get started with the year of 2021, many things have changed, especially within the business credit card world. So what I'm gonna do in this video is just educate you guys and make sure that you know all the right and up-to-date information on trying to get business credit for this year. Now, before we get started with this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. If you guys go ahead and do that, YouTube will automatically recommend a ton of other videos related to this in terms of fire educational content. One last thing, this video was sponsored by the links down below in the description. So if you guys do want to support this channel, don't forget to check those out. I got one for Robinhood. It's a free stock if you deposit some money in there. If you don't want to do stocks and you just want to focus on business credit cards, I have links to those as well. Normally, when a person is interested in applying for a business credit card, they will oftentimes go on Google, search up their card, and then go through that process naturally. I have affiliate links down below in the description. They don't give you any less points than the actual public offer that you do get on Google, except if you use my links, they directly support this channel so I can provide you with some more fire content in the future. If you happen to use those links, they're at no cost to you, and I just want to say thank you all so much. It really does support the channel. If you don't want to use those links for whatever reason, that's completely fine too. I just still want to say thank you for your trust in me. And with that being said, I think we can finally get started with this video. Now, I pretty much have my bullet points listed out here in order for you guys to have a clear idea on the direction that we're going to go for this video. I'm also going to have timestamps listed down below in the description. So if you know some material, you can skip ahead, or if you don't, I recommend just watching everything and emphasizing on the points that you really don't have a good idea of. So first, we're going to go over the basics of business credit. We're going to be going over a lot of the frequently asked questions that I see. Next, we're going to talk about what you need in order to apply for business credit cards, especially this year when regulations got much more restricted. We're then going to talk about the best business credit cards you should consider applying for. So first things first, why is business credit so important? Why is it so valuable getting business credit cards? Now, the list of the benefits of having business credit cards is through the roof. I've made multiple videos on this, and I could legit spend the next 10 minutes talking about all the benefits that business credit cards have. But to just make this concise and easy to understand, business credit cards impact you positively in many different aspects of your financial life. We'll start with the credit card side of things. So there's business credit cards and there's personal credit cards. Most of the people watching this video will be familiar with personal credit cards. I'm hoping that you do have a couple already. Personal credit cards are great. If you know how to pay it off on time every single month, you reap free benefits from those cards, whether it's travel or cashback points or even things like cell phone insurance. I actually was paying my cell phone bill with a credit card every single month, and with the Inc. Business Preferred, which is a business credit card by Chase, I got my phone replaced completely for free. And this was a shattered back. This is when iPhones had the glass back, not the aluminum, and the way they actually fixed it was by giving you a completely new phone. So it was amazing to me because I really didn't have too much money back then, and I didn't want to shell it out for a new iPhone, and all I had to do was pay my phone on my credit card. I broke my phone, I called the credit card company, and they cut me a check for the full replacement of this phone once I took it to the Apple store. That's one example. I did that with my Inc. Business Preferred card. With business credit cards, you'll often find that you're getting much higher credit limits than your personal counterpart. So what this means is if I apply for a Chase Freedom card compared to a Chase Inc. Unlimited card, the Chase Inc. Unlimited will oftentimes give me a credit limit anywhere from $10, $20, $30, $40, or $50,000, while The Chase Freedom Card, it may cap me out at around $1,000 to $5,000 when I first apply. It is absolutely amazing to have a higher credit limit just in case you do have a ton of purchases, you don't want to lower your score because of utilization, or you just want to tell your buddies at the park, yo, I got $500,000 worth of a credit limit. It may not do you any good, but it definitely is a flex. And in the year of 2021, I know some people really do care about small things like that. Not only can you get higher credit limits though, you can find yourself getting higher welcome bonuses, meaning if you apply for a card and they give you $200 cash back by spending $500 like they do as an example for the Freedom Card at the time of this recording, you can find cards like the Chase Inc. business cards that'll give you way more amount of points. So say there's a promoted offer right now for 100,000 points back for a higher amount of spend. If I cashed 100,000 points for a 1 cent to 1 point redemption, that's $1,000 cash back right there. So literally by applying for a business credit card, putting spend on it organically, you can find yourself getting a free $1,000 cash back. On top of that, you can find yourself getting expanded cashback categories, which is also really helpful. Meaning if you're trying to find a cashback category such as utilities or paying the bills and you want to get a little bit of cashback because that's something you're spending every single month for, these business credit cards will oftentimes offer you that category, unlike personal credit cards, which really just focus on food, dining, and some of the more common things outside of regular spend. So hopefully up until this point, you're thinking, wow, business credit cards aren't bad at all. But I haven't even mentioned the most valuable feature of business credit cards. And here it is, guys. Listen up. Business credit cards, they do not report onto your personal credit report. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Business credit cards do not report onto your personal credit report. Now, let me make a couple disclaimers. Not all business credit cards do that, but all the ones I have, the ones that mainly people get, they will do this. They will not report it onto your personal credit report. And let me share with you exactly what this means, because business credit report, personal credit report, it's too much information. Let me explain. Let me break this down. So say you have a balance on your credit card of $10,000. If that balance was on your Chase Freedom Card and you didn't pay it off, you can see your score tank. If you had that $10,000 balance onto a business credit card, the three major credit bureaus aren't going to be able to see that balance, meaning your score will not be affected at all. If you are a business owner or you're a freelancer or you're trying to just maximize your credit score, oftentimes what people do is apply for these business credit cards that have an extended promo period where you pay 15 months of 0% APR. You carry a balance of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on that card. You have a leeway of 15 months and none of that affects your personal credit score. How amazing is that? It's so amazing, Brian. It's pretty amazing. Wow, you're so cool. What happens when I drop fires? It gets hot. I've got to take this off. That benefit alone, where business credit doesn't report onto your personal credit report, is one of the main reasons why people end up choosing business credit cards. But if you have no reason in order to do something like that, another benefit is that it simply just makes your accounting a lot easier. Let's use this as an example. We'll just use myself. I'm a YouTuber, so a lot of the things that I buy can be related to a business expense. A business credit card allows me to put those business expenses on that card, so it makes it a lot easier for my accounting firm to differentiate what business expenses were meant for the business while my personal credit cards take all my personal expenses. This is great because at the end of the year, I am able to differentiate these purchases. And when you're making a decent amount of money every single year, this is something that you really need to focus on in order to make sure that you're not overpaying the government in the taxes. Now, you don't have to be a YouTuber. You could be someone who owns your own construction company. You could be selling things on Etsy. You could be an Uber driver. This is actually probably one of the most interesting parts about business credit cards, and it's the fact that the term business is still very loose in the year of 2021. Many people will often assume that a business owner is this six-figure corporation suit and tie guy that has all his money driving around in a Benz. But in the year 2021, the guys who own businesses that are multimillionaires are the ones with ripped jeans, a ketchup stain on their shirt, that make a finance blog, or they have some of the oddest things where they just make money online. OnlyFans, subscriptions, different services. The umbrella is huge when it comes to understanding what a person is in terms of a business owner. If you're someone who has ever done anything small as selling something on eBay, flipping items, or making things on Etsy and selling that for a profit, or even just having your own store or being an Instagram influencer and promoting affiliate products, whatever it is, in the year of 2021, many people are getting so creative that even the government can't properly define what a business owner is. So right now I am on the official website of irs.gov, and here's what their definition of someone being self-employed is. Generally, you are self-employed if any of the following apply to you. You carry on a trade or business as a sole proprietor or an independent contractor. You are a member of a partnership that carries on a trade or business. You are otherwise in business for yourself, including a part-time business. Living in the US, what you have to realize is there is an incentive for many people to be self-employed. There's an incentive for people to start their own business. This is really what the American dream is built upon. If you take a look at the statistics, you'll see how important small businesses are in the makeup of the US economy. So what this all pretty much means is if you are able to do something small where you are making an income for yourself, or you classify yourself as a sole proprietor, which we will talk about later on in this video, you are classified as a business owner and someone self-employed. So the first misconception that I want to talk about with regards to this is, do you need to have business credit established already in order to get a business credit card? Here is the answer. No, you don't need it at all. When I first got approved for my business credit card, I had a very short personal credit history. I had no business credit history at all. The only thing that I actually had to do was go on irs.gov, get my federal EIN number, and register my business in the state. There is one thing that you do need to know when it comes to getting approved for business credit cards. Now, because of the current crisis that has happened in the year of 2020, you have to realize that they have made it a lot harder to get approved for these cards. Well, Brian, why did they make it so hard? Wouldn't they want more business owners in the US like you talked about earlier? Well, unfortunately enough, although businesses are such a vital part of the US, they are also very risky. As we saw in the first lockdown of the United States, many small businesses shut down. And if they had any loans, if they had any obligations, all that money that was provided to them by the banks were gone. So if you are trying to apply for a business credit card and the banks aren't exactly sure what's going to happen, and if all these business owners are going to go out of business, it's their money that they're essentially losing. So with that being said, yes, it's a lot harder to get approved for business credit cards, but I'll share with you exactly what you need to have in order to get approval for the new year. If you do want to get approved for a business credit card, here's the one secret that you need to know. You don't have to have the hookup with the bank manager. You don't need to pay another company like $300 in order to get approved for a card. And I've seen a lot of people get scammed in that way too. All you need to do in order to get approved for a business credit card is by having an excellent personal credit score. People often think that they don't care about your personal credit score when you apply for a business credit card because they are two different things. And although that is true, you still need to have a good personal credit score because that is what they check. That is what they pull in order to gauge your risk as a borrower. If we take a step back in the world of credit, that's all it comes down to. It comes down to the bank's risk tolerance in giving out money to people that they do not know. If we use an example of 10 people getting approved for business credit cards of $10,000 each, and they all go out of business and they get sent over to collections, that's $100,000 that the bank lost almost instantly. That is something that they do not want to do. They want to have users that are able to pay these credit cards off at a certain point. The next commonly question asked is, Brian, what can I do if my business is really new and I want to get a business credit card now? So if your business is brand new and you're trying to get approved for a business credit card, this wasn't a huge deal back in the day before this crisis started. Now the data points that we're seeing is that the business should be established for at least 2 years. Just in case it's not, we are still seeing people get automatic approval for businesses that have been around for only a year. But the reps right now are telling people from at least my Facebook group and the data points that I'm seeing online that if your business is very fresh, they don't want to deal with it and they are automatically denying a ton of people for that reason alone. If you are desperately trying to get a business credit card, I'm going to hit you with a couple things that you can do. There are methods and different acquisitions that you can do as a consumer in getting ownership ownership of a business that has had history for a very long time. I've seen many people do this where they acquire a corporation for a very small fee that went out of business 10, 15 years ago, and it's just sitting around. If you are able to acquire those for a small fee and have that business history under your belt, although it may not have high revenue right now, it'll have the history that you need in order to get approved for these cards. Do I recommend you to do this? Not unless you really need to get a business credit card at the moment. What I really recommend people to do is just start now. Have an established business now. I'm not saying you got to invest $100,000 in a Chick-fil-A and try to start a new franchise this way. You just have to get an EIN, which we'll do on the computer. You have to register your business so it's in the books, and you just have to be in an industry where it does make sense for the income that you may have. This could be a marketing agency. This could be anything involving online digital commerce, digital marketing. It is very common for businesses to make a low profit their first few years. It is actually more common for businesses to go negative in their first few years of business than to even make a profit. So if you're worried that you won't get approved for these business credit cards because you're not making a high income and you're afraid on the application, if you're not making $3 million, they're going to deny you. Far from the truth. I've seen people who put in a yearly income of $10,000, $20,000, yet still get approved for these cards. When it comes to businesses, you don't expect many businesses to start balling out their first few years. You expect them to work like a business. You invest your money and later on you start reaping the rewards. If the banks are there to catch all those interchange fees, that's the position that they want to be in because they'll be reaping a lot of money towards the end of the year. If you guys didn't know, many of these premier luxury credit cards, they focus more on the fact that they can catch these interchange fees, which pay out more money than people who would pay interest to these banks. American Express, that's how they operate. They want people who spend money, who pay off their credit cards on time, unlike a lot of these subprime lenders that hope you don't pay your credit card on time and you pay them interest. Those are the ones I do not like working with. I hate subprime lenders. I love the credit card companies that really, really vouch for their consumers to make more money so everyone wins. So how has COVID changed the market in terms of applying for a business credit card? We did touch upon some points just now in our discussion, but what I want to really emphasize is that yes, banks are still sensitive to business credit card applications, but as time goes on and as they see the world stabilizing a little bit more, the approval rates for businesses are going to go up significantly. So during the peak of the lockdown, automatically the algorithm would deny you. And if you've ever been denied for a business credit card, that's completely okay. It doesn't mean that you're never going to get approved again. If you have been denied in the past few months, I would reconsider applying for that same card. And one huge tip that I do need to share with you guys, and this is something that literally gurus will charge thousands of dollars for, make sure that you call something called the reconsideration line. If you do get denied for a credit card, oftentimes this is an algorithm, a machine that has no human play, that is seeing your statistics, you're seeing your numbers, your history, and then they are automatically denying you. But if you're able to get on the phone with an actual human, oftentimes they can reverse the decision that you may have. So when it comes to business credit cards, you do have to take a little bit more steps in order to get approved. But once you get your first one, you get good after that. I had so much trouble getting approved for my first business credit cards. I had to fax them stuff. I had to mail in documents and proof of like utility that I own the business and I had my EIN. Once I got approved for that first credit card, which took me months, I was able to get automatically approved for the next 5 credit cards that I have. So I think that's as much information that I can drop about business credit cards. I know I'm still missing a couple things and I could talk forever about this topic, but I don't want to take up your time. And at this point, you should have some of the most valuable knowledge right now in trying to get approved for those cards. The next question you may have then is, Brian, what are the best business credit cards to apply for? And let me help you out here. So my 2 favorite lenders when it comes to business credit cards is going to be Chase and American Express. There are other lenders that do offer business credit cards, but I need you to do your research before applying for them because Chase and American Express, for a fact, do not report that business credit line onto your personal credit report. So this is really good for all the things I mentioned earlier on in this video in terms of the benefits, in terms of carrying a balance and making sure that it doesn't affect your personal credit score. With other lenders, sometimes they report it. With other lenders, sometimes they do funky things as well. Chase, American Express, they are hands down the best. Okay, I will vouch for them till the end of time. And I literally have all three of the Chase Ink business cards, the Ink Business Preferred, the Ink Business Unlimited, and the Ink Business Cash. On top of that, I have the American Express Business Platinum, the Business Prime, and the Marriott Bonvoy Business. So those are my 6 cards there. So what I recommend to you is this. If you're trying to get approved for a business credit card as soon as possible, American Express is hands down the way to go. They accept a lot more applicants than Chase does. They put you through a much easier approval process than Chase does. And in terms of credit limits, generosity, and great customer support, American Express has never let me down. With their business credit cards, the Blue Business Plus or the Blue Business Cash is what I recommend now. They have a no APR promotion. I believe at the time of this recording, it's 15 months long. So if you are in a financial pinch, you have a relationship with Amex, and you love getting higher credit limits, American Express is the way to go, hands down. Now, the issue though with American Express is that their points and their cash can be a little bit harder to redeem for value towards the end of the year. This is exactly why we use credit cards. It's so we can get those points and then get those first class, business class seats, those hotel suite upgrades, and just all the points and cash that you can accrue at the end of the year. With Chase, their points are a lot more flexible. They offer you way more points when you sign up for a card, and Chase is actually one of the best, in my opinion, in terms of flexibility with their points. Just by applying for the Chase Ink business credit card, say each card is giving you 100,000 UR points each. If you have a total of 300,000 UR points, that's $3,000 cash right there at a 1 point to 1 cent redemption. But if you wanted to take that even further, put it in the travel portal, and you're seeing a huge difference compared to the hotel's natural rate, you can often find yourself getting a redemption from 2 to 5 cents. That means you are getting a multiplier of 2 to 5 on that $3,000 amount. So a 1 point to 2 cent redemption, that is $6,000 of 300,000 points. If you want to travel the world for free and you want to experience what luxury travel can be, but you don't want to pay for it, the Chase Ultimate Reward Points is something that you want to focus on. When getting into business credit cards, my plan was to actually get Chase cards so I can get into the Chase business cards, and I knocked those out back to back to back. And as soon as I did that, that's when I moved over into American Express. The reason why I went that route and the reason why I recommend people to go that way is because Chase has a rule called the 524 rule, meaning you can only apply for 5 credit cards within a span of 24 months with Chase. So if I'd applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Chase Freedom Unlimited, and then I had my 3 ink cards, I'd be over 524, and I couldn't get any more cards with Chase for another 24 months. With that reason alone, you're able to strategically plan out what cards you get. Chase has this rule in effect. They've had it forever, as long as I can remember, in order for people like us to not game the system or to get all the points that are available for the public. If you have zero relationship at all with any of these banks, the first thing you should do is establish it. I highly recommend you to have any type of personal card with Chase. Chase's business account also has some pretty good welcome bonuses. I remember when I signed up, I got, I believe, $200 or $300 back by depositing a couple $1,000s at the time. So I've been banking with Chase, and they've been awesome. And I got hit with identity theft, and the people had access to my accounts, and Chase actually did take care of everything. So in terms of security and in terms of, you literally banking with JP Morgan Chase, one of the biggest banks in the world, there's a little bit of flex to that too. When I work with all the credit card issuers and affiliate programs, it's nice being able to put that type of account and routing number. It's just much better than being with like TD Bank or Capital One Bank. JP Morgan is really the OG in the finance world, and alongside some of the other reputable companies, I think JP Morgan Chase is a great bank to have a relationship with. Have a personal credit card, have a business checking account, and then get into the business credit cards. I personally would start with the Ink business credit cards because of the 524 rule. If you can't afford to do that, move into the American Express business credit cards, but do the same principle. Apply for one of their personal cards or see if you can get approved for one of their savings account. You don't need to toss $100,000 in their account. You could put in $100, meet that minimum requirement so you're not charged any fees, and you have extra accounts or relationships with that entity. So the next thing we have for this video is we're going to go step by step into my computer so I can properly show you what you need to do in order to apply for a business credit card now with all the things that you know. And guys, if I'm dropping a lot of value in this video so far, Comment it down below, drop a like down below, share this with one of your friends, or you can also check out the affiliate links down below. That also helps me out too. But let's get back into my computer and show you what's next. All right, guys, so we are inside of my computer right now, and I apologize if my voice is sounding different. It is getting like super scratchy because I've been like talking for about 45 minutes straight now. This video should come out to be less than that, hopefully. But what I'm gonna do right now is type in IRS EIN. So right here, I'm going to click on the IRS website, and this is where we'll be able to get our EIN. For anyone who doesn't know what an EIN is, this is pretty much the identification number for your business. It's very similar to your social security number, which identifies you as a person. Your business also gets this number for tax purposes and for pretty much the way the government knows that a lot of these businesses are around. Now, if you are someone who isn't reporting your taxes and you're trying to be low key about these things, you may not want to get an EIN because essentially you'll be outing yourself. But if you are a legal, law abiding citizen like myself, I would recommend you to get an EIN. If you aren't making huge profits, and this is dependent on what state you live in, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not an accountant or CPA, but you do not have to pay taxes if you're not making a minimum threshold. So if I sold a couple Pokemon cards and I made like $200 from that, it doesn't mean I have to pay taxes on that. You have to meet a certain requirement, but if you have your EIN, that's just good news for you. This is extra identification for if you're trying to apply for these things like business credit cards. All right, so here we are. It says on their website, hours of operation is Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's because, you know, they're from DC. Shout out to the DMV gang. You may apply for an EIN online if your principal business is located in the US. So for all my people who are living in like Hungary or, you know, Uruguay, no disrespect if I pronounce those country names wrong, but if you are living outside of the US, you're going to have a hard time with this. So you're limited to one EIN per responsible party. If you do decide to start a business with a partner or maybe 3 partners, one of you guys need to get an EIN. You don't get 3 or 4 of them. The hours of operation part is something I do need to mention. If you do try to get an EIN after this time frame, you legitimately won't be able to press this apply online button and it goes away. Make sure that you are in this time frame. I don't know why they have a time frame for something that is the internet, where I don't think someone out here is manually approving every single application because automatically you get an EIN back. But for this example, and just to make sure that you guys are good, if you are applying for your EIN, make sure you do it within this hour of operation time. Read through this fine print. I've already read through it a bunch. You just have to know that the information on this page is very important to you. You're going to get this thing, the U.S. government authorized use only. This is all normal. Technical difficulties, but I'm going to use my I'm going to use a new browser because my Chrome browser will autofill my address, and I don't need my identity stolen for a second time. Apply online now. Press OK. Begin application. Sole proprietor. Sole proprietor. Continue. Start a new business. Let me zoom this in for you guys. First name, Brian. Jung. Okay, you're going to put in your social security number. All right. I am the sole proprietor. Then you move on. What time is it for? So I'm just going to show this to you on Google because I'm getting a technical difficulty message. I don't know if it's because everyone's rioting in DC right now and this is affected towards that, but I'm just going to pull up one of these EIN applications, application SS4. All right, guys, so I was having some technical difficulties with the IRS government. I used a fake social to give you guys this an example, and then I used my real one and it still didn't work. At the time of this recording, the riots and the coup of people taking over DC is going on right now. So I don't know if the people working at IRS made this so people can't get an EIN today with everything going on. But yes, the world is crazy. I was able to find the form for the EIN, but this is all very simple stuff. I just want to make sure I go over this with you. You're going to put your legal name right here, the entity name. If you don't have a business name, you can use your full name. This is what you can also do on your credit card applications, which we will show. If you don't have a business office location, it's completely fine to use your home office as your address. So your home address will work for that. Sole proprietor, check that. Reasons for applying, starting a new business. This is really the manual way, but you pretty much put the date on when you believe you started your business. You could say January 1st, 2020, or you could put maybe sometime last year if that's when you started your business as well. So oftentimes the area where people aren't really sure of is what type of business that they have. This is going to depend on what type of business you have. So most people I know, I would say the easiest thing is to press other and then do something in the internet space. So you could be a quote unquote influencer. You could be a internet retailer. You can be a whole bunch of other things. No matter what you put in there, they're not going to deny your application, okay? As long as you're making an income and you clearly state that you have a business, you're good to go. Now, once you do that, you just have to specify on line 17 what type of thing you're selling or what type of service you're providing. So if I'm an influencer and I'm doing consultation calls for relationships, I would put that right there. And then you can put whether or not you have ever applied for an EIN, you press no. And the rest of this, you just send over. So this is the manual way you do it. Normally you have to fax or mail a thing like this. But if you do this over the internet and you do it on irs.gov, you don't have to go ahead and do that. This is all free. And what will happen right after is you'll instantly get an EIN. You don't even have to wait. They'll provide you with a document. You save that document, take a picture of it, and you'll be good to go. I'm having trouble right now at the time of this recording to actually get my application submitted, but they stated right here, you download, save, or print your EIN on your notice. So once you do that, we go on YouTube and we type in Brian Jung business credit card, or if you're watching this video now, you stay on this video and we'll click on one of these. Dang. And we'll go on one of these older links for our business credit cards. We're going to let this load up. The Inc. Business Unlimited is a great card. $0 intro, $0 annual fee, $750 welcome bonus after you spend $7,500 in 3 months. Hefty amount of spend, but there are ways to do that. And you have 12 months of no APR. We'll use the Inc. Business Unlimited card as an example. We'll apply for this right now. Crush some of these other tabs right here. Okay, and here we are with the Inc. Business Unlimited card. Make sure you know what card you are applying for. I already have this one. I have multiple of these ones. So here we are where things get pretty interesting. Legal name of business, you can put your full name. This is what many people do. This is what I actually do as well. Business name on the card, you want to put your full real name. The next question they have is, does your business use another name or a trade name, like doing a business as? I am not. Put your business mailing address. I'm just going to do random things right here. Type of business, sole proprietor. Business phone, tax ID number. So this is going to be that federal EIN number, which we recently acquired from irs.gov. We're just going to say it's a random number as well. Number of employees. If it's just you, you're putting down 1. Annual business revenue or sales. Now, guys, I feel like I have to say this right here. Make sure you're honest about all of this. There are people who stretch their numbers and there are people who put completely fake things. I don't recommend you to do that, but here's what I'll say. As a business, if you started in the first day and month of the new year of 2021 and you haven't had a history of annual business revenue, I would give the best projection that you can in terms of an estimation. So for this week, say for my business, I made $200. There's 52 weeks in a year. I would multiply 52 by 200. Please don't flame me if I need a calculator for that. That means my business made $10,400, okay, for this year. We could also say I made $1,000 this week for my business, and this is projected on where I'll be at the end of the year. We'll do 1,000 times 52. That means I make $52,000 a single year, okay? Give the best estimate that you can. You don't have to be so accurate where it's like down to the number and you're having anxiety because you don't know what to put in this annual business revenue side. It's revenue, it's not profit, it's estimated, it's projection. If you think you're gonna make $100,000 this year, go ahead. The best person to know that isn't someone who's approving this application. The best person to know that is you, the business owner. If you think at Q4, you're gonna make all of your revenue then because of the books you're reading and the mindset you have, completely fine. I'm not gonna say that's something I may or may not did, but that's something I may or may not did. Years in business, 1. With the whole pandemic, it's a little tough, okay? They don't like new businesses. If you've been around for a little bit longer than that and you have been making exchanges and you just decided to establish yourself a little bit more legitimately for a reason this year, that's completely fine too. As an example, I'm gonna put 2 years in business. General industry, this is where people often struggle as well. I, myself, when I was doing drop shipping, I did my niche, which was technically in the sporting goods industry. So that's what I put. This completely worked for me. Your title as authorizing officer, so I would be the owner. I would put my name. You put your home address, which may be the same as this. If it is, just check this box. You put in your date of birth and you put in your phone number. You put in your mother's maiden name. This helps them to verify this information. You put in your social, and then you put in your gross annual income. If you own the business, you're a sole proprietor, your gross annual income is what the business income is. So I would then put $100,000 as well. You do this, you make sure all this information is correct. I don't need an employee card, but you can. It's free if you would like something like that. Just have an extra credit card. You don't need it, okay? Make it a lot easier for yourself by not seeing 100 different credit cards that you don't use on your account. You have read it, and then you click submit. So obviously, because I used example information, this isn't gonna go through, but if it did, we would then see a pending request on your application. If you see this, don't freak out, okay? They need to process this information. It's a lot more things in their algorithm. They need to tie up the EIN. They need to make sure that things make sense. And what they will oftentimes do after this is they will ask you for a verification that you do own the business. This will come in forms of a utility bill. This will come in forms of maybe even like a PayPal thing. You just have to send them an official document with your name on that established business. And you also got to send them that EIN that we got completely for free for the IRS. So what we have next is patience. It takes a very long time for some of these banks to respond to these requests. They will oftentimes say it's pending. You have to wait like 7 to 10 days or something. Go ahead and wait that amount. Make sure that you have paperwork to prove that you have the business. If you got your EIN, that is one form of it. The next thing you need to do is just show ownership of it. So this could be a utility bill. It could be a Gmail account associated with your business name that you bought something from, maybe like Shopify. I used my Shopify invoice back in the day. That was proof that I owned the business that was listed on there. So it's pretty easy to get approval and confirmation on this end. Please don't freak out if you see the waiting sign, because I know it can be very scary. You can find yourself getting a lot of anxiety, but you just have to realize that there's a lot of scammers in the world trying to get approved for business credit cards as well, because they know all the benefits, and the banks want to make sure that you're not this full-blown scammer. If you're a new business owner and you're afraid because you're not making that much money or you don't know what to do not be afraid. Y'all are the last people that should be afraid. The people that should be afraid are the scammers, because the banks are trying to make sure that they do not approve someone for a business credit card when they actually live in India or they live in I don't know, wherever they scam people and they give out these business credit cards to people who don't need them. Hopefully this video was able to help you out in terms of getting your first business credit card, or maybe this is like your 5th or 6th one and you wanted a review on all of this. Like always, if you did enjoy the value in this video, huge favor, don't forget to check out the links down below in the description one last time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you guys love this type of information, and comment down below what your favorite tip in this video was. And also, guys, share this with a friend. It's a lot of valuable information, and if you and your buddy can get a couple 100,000 points for free, not by doing much, but just by applying for some of these cards, and you guys have like the best boys' night out in Cancun, or you spend 2 months completely for free using points on your vacation, That's a win-win. I think that's worth the little bit of time to put into this. So hopefully this video is able to help you guys out. If you guys want to join our free Facebook community, it will be listed down below in the description. I also have a Discord coming out. It's been built for 2 years, but I've never promoted it. And I'm not sure if it's going to be live in this video, but I would recommend you to check out the link in the description just in case it is live. If you don't know what Discord is, it's pretty much like a community where you can like chat with other people. We have bots in there. We have different rooms. We can talk about all things credit cards, finance, and even have monthly meetings and live Zoom calls. I think that would be amazing. I'm working on getting all of this situated, but if you are interested in looking into different things like that and trying to better your financial future with your boy, Brian Jung, check out all the links down below in the description. Once again, thank you all so much again for watching, and I hope I see you guys in the next one. Peace.